What's good, Black Star Podcast? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jared, y'all. Today we're gonna be looking at a video from brother Jeremy Hill from the Jeremy Hill Show. Shout out to this brother. Now, y'all, we're gonna be bringing a particular woman to the front of the congregation, and shout out to Anton Daniels for that. This woman needs to be brought to the forefront of the congregation, and here's why. This woman says that black men's masculinity needs to be torn down so that women can feel. Matter of fact, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna let her explain this shit.
Welcome to the Jeremy Hill Show. If you're easily triggered, leave now, because this is not the show for you. Now, what I have for you, man, is a crazy display of lunacy from a modern woman who's going to try to convince the world that all men should be feminine, that men should embrace their feminine side, and that we are fighting against our true feminine nature. So I'm gonna go ahead and break this down, and I want to try to let y'all understand something here, man. A lot of these women, my most humble opinion in this educational video, don't know what a man is, a real man, and they do not want a real man, because a real man will come with pure masculinity. They're not going to be watered down. So let me let you hear what this woman got to say.
And you know what? Let me say this. A lot of these women that are saying shit like this, oh, men and women have masculine and feminine energies and shit. A lot of these women didn't grow up with a daddy. A lot of these women don't have a father in their life. So they're going based upon some shit that they heard or some shit that their mama told them. These women don't know what the hell they talking about. They don't know what the fuck a real man is. They don't know none of that. So for them to say some shit like that is very surprising. But listen to this.
And I am going to be giving you my analytical commentary, and I'm going to be discussing polarity. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to use it in this video. All right, 1 second. All right, as I always say, let's get it.
Jackson, feminine energy has always been attractive. Even if you look into the 70s and the 80s era and how people were dressed, the music they were making, the house decor, the archetype of the houses, it was all feminine energy. There was a rise in lavender marriages. The reason for this was because of the feminine versus masculine energy. Men were in relationships with women to cover up how they really feel, which is internally they wanted to connect to their feminine energy. Relationships with straight women.
This woman just said men back then, and she also means now. She's saying that men are marrying women because they want to cover up the fact that they are feminine. In other words,
basically think of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. And you know what I mean by that. They want guys like that.
That they play for the other team, that men are really secretly liking men. Now, you got DL men, but that's not what she's trying to say. She's making a blanket statement saying that all men are like this. Let's continue.
Wanted to connect to their feminine energy. Relationships with straight women for the safety of it. Patriarchy basically told them, you can't be out here doing feminine energy things because patriarchy was solely built on masculine things, the external, nothing of the inner, nothing creative. It was always about to boost the man's ego, where you hear a lot of rumors back in the days, the grandmother saying they lost her husband to another man and it was kept hush hush because it would be an embarrassment. But everybody knew that men were emotionally attracted to other men too because of that feminine energy. So you see in that.
What the fuck is this broad talking about? Men are attracted to feminine women, not feminine men. The fuck is this whole talking about? See, this is why women like this need to stay in their damn lane. If you can't get no man, just say that. Nobody's a masculine man is masculine. A feminine man is feminine. If that man hangs out with a lot of women, that nigga is feminine. Or he might be trying to get a particular girl, but still. What is this woman talking about?
Generation in the 70s and the 80s was a huge amount of the abuse pipeline, with men literally beating on their women, but no one believed them because the men looked very charming, they had jewelry on, they just looked very flamboyant, and if you notice, they were the worst of men. The feminine energy will always peak its head when it comes to masculine energy, because the natural nature that humans are supposed to live is through feminine energy.
The natural nature of women is supposed to be in their feminine energy, and the natural way that men are supposed to live is in their masculine. Hence why men went out and hunt during the ancient times. They went out and hunted, and the women sat at home and cooked and take care of the kids. What is this? Never mind. See, this is why people need to stay off TikTok.
So because patriarchy has been violently put here, a lot of men understand.
No, patriarchy has always been here. Y'all see patriarchy as a negative because y'all trying to be in this feminist mindset. Meanwhile, femininity is naturally chaotic. It takes masculinity in order to sort out that chaoticness. Y'all want to run the damn insane asylum and then point the finger at the men that are masculine trying to take control of the damn over this shit. That's what y'all want to do. Fuck out of here.
Understood in that era, like, hey, we're getting too in tune with our feminine energy and women are getting too comfortable, because patriarchy was based on that root that if we cancel feminine energy, women will forget themselves. They forget.
No. If we take control, no, matter of fact, let me refer to what she said.
Too in tune with our feminine energy and women are getting too comfortable, because patriarchy was based on that root that if we cancel feminine energy, women will forget themselves.
No, we don't want to cancel feminine energy. We want to balance it out with masculine energy. That's the problem that y'all don't get. Y'all want the world to be feminine all the way. Men don't want the world to be just masculine. There needs to be a balance between feminine and masculine. That's the reason why masculine men and feminine women work so well together. When you're coming into a relationship and you are a masculine woman and you have a masculine man, that balance is off. When you have a masculine woman coming in with a feminine man, that balance is going to be off because it's the complete opposite. A man's supposed to lead the relationship and the woman's supposed to follow the relationship and be comfortable in her femininity. Supposed to be in her femininity. But when you have a masculine man and a masculine woman coming in, it's gonna end up in chaos. If you have a masculine woman and a feminine man, it's gonna be chaos. And if you have a feminine man and a feminine woman in a relationship, it's gonna be a natural propellant. It's gonna turn the woman off because the man is gonna be too damn sensitive. That's the reason why you see these guys out here that are feminine with these masculine ass women, and those women be complaining about the man being a bitch. That's the reason why.
Forget their natural nature. We will also forget who we really are, because to acknowledge your feminine energy, it means to respect the woman.
Okay, enough of that. All right, now let me tell you something. Before I continue and break this down, I'm going to be talking about polarity, the polarity of masculinity. If you need to understand more about polarity, I would recommend this book right here. I read about 20, 30 times. It's called the Kabbalion. And one of those principles that it teaches from the Hermetic philosophy is about polarity. Now, let me use a principle from the Kabbalion to describe masculinity. Now, let's get to it. The polarity of masculinity is like the yin and the yang. Take, for example, temperature. Take heat and cold. Both of those two things are identical in nature, just different in degrees. 97 degrees is different from 20 below, but it's still temperature. It is still identical. It's just different, but it is still temperature. Now, what does that have to do with masculinity and feminine energy? Let me break down masculinity. You have on one end of the spectrum where you have a aggressive, assertive, forceful side of masculinity. You need those type of qualities to be successful as a man in this world, and also to have the ability to protect your wife and children. You have to have those aggressive tendencies. You got to be strong. That's one end of masculinity. The other end of masculinity is the softer side of it. Okay? Now, when I say that, this is when a man will hold his children, love his children, kiss on his children, horseplay with his children, take the children to eat, take the children to Chuck E. Cheese, being all lovable and affectionate to his children. That is on the other end of masculinity. These are still masculinity traits, still identical in nature, but different in degrees. You get me? One degree is more assertive, more aggressive. The other one is more affectionate and gentle, but it is still masculinity. Just because a man wants to embrace his children, love on his wife, does not mean that he has feminine energy, okay? There's no such thing as one heterosexual straight male who has one drop of femininity. When people say to you, men need to get into their feminine side, they need to connect to it. A real man cannot connect to something that he's not created to have. It is our innate ability to be masculine, just like femininity. On one end of the spectrum, you have softness, you have affection, nurturing. That's one side of femininity. But at the same time, you also have a woman who has the ability to protect her children when the man is not around. One side, different in degrees from the other, but it is still identical. It is still the nature of femininity. You have hot, cold. You have night, day. But it's still the daytime. It's still day. You get what I'm saying? So, I hope I'm saying it where y'all can understand what I'm trying to say here. There's no such thing as a heterosexual straight woman who has one drop of masculinity. Now, women who act masculine are not masculine in nature. They adopt the traits and the characteristic traits and mimic masculinity. And you see how it doesn't work for them. You see that their true nature, the feminine side of them, longs for a masculine man. Excuse me. That's why they always complain about why I can't find a good man, because that innate nature of femininity cries out for a real masculine man. Masculinity is supposed to work in tandem with femininity, or should I say femininity is supposed to be working in tandem with masculinity, because masculinity existed on this earth before femininity did. And if you're a religious person, you know that Adam was here before the woman. So masculinity was here before femininity. Okay? Now, again, even a man, he can adopt feminine traits, but that's not his true nature.
I'm gonna just skip ahead a little bit because there's something else that she said that was some bullshit too.
Him, if he is a heterosexual man, and this is not an attack on the other people in the alphabet soup community. I'm not even trying to disrespect nobody. I'm just telling you the truth about the masculine side. Let's keep going with this lunacy. It gets even more crazier.
He also needs to respect Mother Nature, and they don't want to do that. So they have to keep reminding men, hey, remember, it's all about power. It's all about power. So yes, men could easily be out here expressing themselves and really being emotionally vulnerable, but they don't want to do that because they understand that women are more powerful than them internally. And that's
how are women more powerful than men internally? The fuck y'all got? Damn power armor inside of y'all bodies and some shit? The fuck you mean by that?
Why you see this wave of the 50s making its return. But again, we're starting again the whole cycle. The men are coloring their nails. We're getting back to that era again. Earth wants its things back, which is the feminine energy. We thrive through the feminine energy. Men even understand that women and feminine energy is an asset, because when usually they're even fighting with each other, they always say things like, I have more women than you. Men understand that women are assets. The only person who does not understand that women are assets, it's women, because we have been brainwashed that we need to forget ourselves.
Women can be assets, yes, but let's be honest here. Most women today are not assets. Most women nowadays are they're liabilities. Most women nowadays are liabilities. You get a woman that don't want to do nothing in her life, and you marry her ass, and then she gets bored, she divorce your ass. Let's be completely honest. Most women are liabilities.
It's like slavery. You cannot let the slaves know tribe they come from and what kingdom they come from. You
Man, what planet is this woman from, man? What slavery? I mean, dude, what's going on? This woman is really motivating me to do a live stream. Let me check the community tab this Saturday. I will make a decision if I'm going to do a live stream covering this, because this is sad. This woman is delusional. This woman really believes this. Now, sometimes, and I'm going to tell you some game, man. I want you to understand something. Passing judgment is okay on people, but what's better than passing judgment on a person is understanding the person, because your understanding will lead you to the judgment that you must have for that person. If a person is trying to use you and you know that they're using you, take a step back and ask yourself, why do they think that they can use me? I'm using this as an example. What am I doing? What have I shown them that makes them think that I'm weak in that area? Once you get to understand why they doing that, when you start to understand their motives or their reasoning behind what they're trying to do to you, then it's easier to pass that judgment. If you receive understanding first, then you can protect yourself from doing whatever it was you were doing or doing whatever it was you was not doing, so you won't have to deal with that experience again. So always remember, understanding is better than judgment. Judgment will still come from understanding. You get me? So check the community tab Saturday. It will be a religious one this Sunday. You know, every now and then I do religious, I do secular, I do call-ins, but I think with this one right here, it's a spiritual matter. I might do a spiritual one, use scriptures like I have done before to show you what I'm talking about when it comes to this right here. So check the community tab. If you subscribe to the channel Saturday, if you don't see an announcement, then it won't happen this Sunday. If you do.
But shout out to Jeremy Hill, because what he said was actually real. Was real. And the thing is that this woman really don't know what the hell she talking about. She really don't. And the fact that she said this shit and she thinks she's right, this is what most women nowadays think. That woman is delusional out of her ass. And I don't even understand how in the French damn toast people can't see that. These people are crazy, okay? To say this shit it's an understatement. To say this shit right here is something serious. These people need to be arrested for being delusional. You can't be that fucking delusional and then say this shit. Anyways, boy. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys later. Thank you, Black Star Podcast, and this is your boy signing off. Bye, guys.